Hey, Mike, what do Kelly Slater and PT have in common?
I don't know. They're both world champs?
Nope, they both own Endless Summer box set.
Oh my God, rad. You guys, you can get it too. The link's in the show notes. Hey, this is Mike with the QuiverCast, brought to you by QuiverBuilder.com, an online community where you buy, sell, and surf for your next magic board. Hello, everybody. This is Mike here with the QuiverCast, and today's special guest is Chelsea Denning.
Yep,
It's rad. Thank you for joining us.
of course.
We're sitting in the harbor. It's like really actually quite a nice night.
It's a beautiful day.
Night. So, Chelsea's got some stories, right? Traveling stories. So we'll start at the beginning. Like, you've traveled with how many kids do you have?
I have 3 kids. Right now they are 2, 5, and 7.
Wow. And you've traveled internationally with them.
Yeah, my oldest has been to about 30 countries. And yeah,
Insane.
and I start traveling with them when they, as soon as they get their 8-week shots, so about 2 months old.
Really?
Yeah.
So, okay, how does traveling, now did you travel before you had kids?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I had normal jobs with only 2 weeks off work for a long time.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'd take a trip or two. And yeah, I've always loved traveling. I didn't grow up traveling as a kid. I mean, I grew up in Southern California, and our family vacations were more just like to Palm Springs or,
Okay.
little local trips. But I went to college in Hawaii.
Rad.
Yeah, it was an awesome place to go to college. And while I was there, I wanted to see all the islands. So I do little hopper trips throughout college, and
Okay.
I noticed how different each island was, and that kind of got my travel bug started. I wanted to see every single island, so I went to all of them except for Niihau, of course.
Okay.
And just loved it. So then when I moved back to the
So
mainland,
you're 18 at this point, 19, 20? How old are you?
I'm about 21, 22,
Okay.
finishing up college.
Yep. Okay. So that back in college. Okay, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. So that's how it got started, was just seeing the different Hawaiian islands and loving that. And then when I got back to the mainland, that's when the international travel started.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. So you're a kid and you're traveling to Palm Springs. Like that
Yeah.
was the trip.
That was the trip.
So you guys didn't leave the general area?
No. I didn't have like the most adventurous upbringing.
Okay.
Great
okay.
family. It just travel was not in our
Yeah.
our thing.
So college, okay, so what island did you like the best?
Kauai.
You liked it the best?
Yeah.
Would you live there?
I would love to live there. Just circumstances at the moment don't allow for that. But yeah,
Maybe later on.
Could definitely see myself living there.
Okay. Is it slower than the rest?
Oh, way slower.
Okay, I've never been to Kauai. I've only
just-
been in Maui and Oahu.
I love the simple lifestyle.
Oh, okay. Like a country? Is it more country feel?
Definitely more country feel.
Okay. All right. Okay, so you go to Hawaii and that grabs you. Mm-hmm. So then what's the next step? You graduate?
Yeah, and then I start dabbling in travel. Going
While
to
in college still?
after college.
After college, okay.
Going to the typical places like Costa Rica and different parts of Mexico, and then you work your way up more adventurous places. And then I did some solo trips before I had kids. I went to the Philippines by myself on a surf trip, and I went
So
to,
these all based around surfing?
yeah. I mean,
So is
there's-
that how you pick your vacation spot?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many waves in the world, so you might as well go someplace where you can both surf and explore, I figure.
Okay. So when did you start surfing?
In college in Hawaii.
Okay. So that's when you picked it up. Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you grow up inland a little bit? Or?
Yeah, I grew up in LA, about 45 minutes inland.
Okay.
So we'd go to the beach in the summer, but it wasn't like the beach lifestyle.
What city? You want to mind seeing?
Diamond Bar.
Okay. Yeah. So my wife's from West Covina.
Oh, okay. Yeah, super close.
Yeah, real close. Worst for you. 5760 is horrible.
Yeah. So got out of there. But yeah, and then I moved to Hawaii and just felt like I found myself there, and the beach lifestyle, the surf lifestyle, it all just felt right.
Right on. Okay. So then you go, how many different countries did you go? You went to the Philippines? Before kids, I'm talking before kids.
Before kids, I went
Costa Rica.
Nicaragua. Mexico. Maybe just a few
Central
other.
America.
Yeah, Central
Okay.
America. I did New Zealand. I did a camp.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did a camper van trip around New Zealand. That was
What?
epic. Yeah.
Yeah, can you tell us about that?
Just me and my husband, we just rented. It wasn't even a camper van really. It was just like a minivan with a bed in
Like
the
a
back.
van
Yeah,
kind of thing?
yeah, like you couldn't stand up in it at all. And we rented that for 2 weeks and just cruised and surfed around New Zealand. So that was like the first long trip I went on, and oh man, yeah,
So how long did that trip last?
it was like 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
And I mean, these are like long by American standards. I know, like people in other countries they travel for months at a time, but for people with like standard jobs in the U.S.,
Okay.
a 2.5 week vacation is
That's
very
long.
luxurious. Yeah.
So what else about New Zealand? Tell us about the waves. Tell us about like the people.
I mean, that was one of those trips where like the weather was actually pretty terrible. Like it rained.
Oh, really?
Like out of the 17 days we were there, I think it rained 15 days.
Oh my goodness.
But I mean, you just go with it. You surf in the rain, and you didn't get a tan that trip. That's for sure.
No.
But
Isn't New Zealand usually cold anyhow?
yeah, I
Kinda
mean,
like Central
we
California.
went in the peak of their summer though, so
Oh.
we're kind of hoping for a little
Super
sunshine.
bummer.
But I mean, that happens with travel.
Okay.
You can't win them all, but we still got to surf and I wore a spring suit, so that was always nice.
Oh,
when
nice.
It's wintertime here, so
What waves did you surf?
we surfed down by Raglan.
Oh yeah, how's Raglan? That left?
Yeah, it was great. We went. There wasn't a lot of people out, probably because it was pouring rain.
Okay.
And then, then a few other places up by Auckland. I'm like blanking on the names.
Okay. It was a long time ago.
This was a long time ago. Like I said, this one was pre-kids. But yeah, and then after kids, I don't know.
Okay, so you get the traveling done.
Yeah, so I got my traveling bug, and then after kids, you kind of hear, oh, get your traveling in before you have kids.
Right. So
Like,
did you guys have that talk?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of like what we assumed would happen based on what everyone around us, late 20s, you start to see a lot of people around you having kids. You start to see like how all their hobbies start to die and their traveling starts to die, and you're just
Work
like,
gets a
oh,
little more longer. And
yeah, you're like, oh man,
Weekends are soccer.
this is looking terrible. But it's just like that's what I was seeing. I was seeing my friends that would have travel lifestyles in their
Right.
20s, like have kids and just shut it down, and I just kind of okay, I don't know, I'm sure I'll still go a couple places with my kids, but I mean, I had no idea what would end up happening. So,
Which was what?
Which was started to have like more unique jobs where I was able to have more time off.
Okay.
And
now, is this organically happen, or did you plan on this?
no, this just kind of organically happened. Like had some extra time, so we're like, well, let's go someplace. And once we had our second kid, that's when we had this extra time. And at the time, we had like a baby and a toddler, which sounds terrible to travel with, but
To me, it does. It sounds
we ended up
hard.
taking them. The first really long trip was to South Africa. And I mean, it was like 50 hours door to door of travel.
Oh my goodness.
And just everyone we knew around us that also had kids was like, you're nuts for taking them. And then,
Can I stop you right there?
oh yeah.
So now you're friends with kids, right? Are you guys hanging out and stuff too? Or are you just talking on the phone? Like, what's the
yeah.
association like with them?
I mean, once you have kids, you kind of see your friends a
Okay,
little bit less.
that's my
That's
question.
for sure.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean,
But you still have a relationship with them.
oh, for sure,
Okay.
for sure.
So they're telling you,
Yeah, they're telling us that
like
you
guys
do
are-
not want to get on a flight for that long with a toddler and a baby. Like,
Right.
you guys are crazy. And so that's when I had the idea to just like start this Instagram of just kind of like showing how we're doing it. And
Okay, you want to tell everyone what the Instagram is?
it's Family Beach Travel.
Yep.
And I mean, my hopes with that was to just encourage people, like I was seeing,
Like
where
motivate?
motivate, like, you don't have to like give up your travel plans just because you're having kids.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of show them like, hey, if we can go someplace like 50 hours door to door with a toddler and a baby, like you can make that trip,
Okay.
So we went to South Africa, and that's still been to date like one of our favorite places we've been with the kids.
Really? Okay, so let's talk about the travel.
Yeah.
Anything bad happen in those 50 hours? Where you're like, uh-oh.
I mean,
You got to tell us.
tantrums don't like leave at the home, you know, like they come with you. So,
And then how are the other passengers like accepting?
I mean, you walk on that flight it's an overnight 12-hour flight, and someone sees you with a baby and a toddler.
They don't want to sit
You
next to
get
you.
these like looks of like panic in people's eyes, like, oh, please don't sit by me, please don't sit by me. You know, just it's quite funny actually. But no, they're good. They're good on flights. At least that trip, like nothing bad happened. And
Okay.
South Africa was rad. We scored amazing waves at Jeffreys Bay.
Really?
Amazing. And then we could surf all morning, and then we take the kids on safari in the afternoon. So
Okay.
it was,
So what'd you see there? The wild animals and all that?
like
Giraffes.
like pretty close to J Bay. There's a really cool elephant. I forgot what it's called.
Was it like a
But-
sanctuary or
yeah,
something?
something like that. Yeah, we saw everything: elephants, giraffes, zebras,
So
buffalo.
rad.
like-
And that, would the kids understand at that point?
oh
They're
yeah,
young.
They're
They're
young,
losing
but
their mind. Huh?
yeah, and we'd stay in these lodges where there'd just be like ostriches and just crazy animals just like walking outside your front door. And so they loved it. Like we loved it. It was just like a win for everyone. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those like, traveling that far, like I felt like crap when I arrived. Like, I needed to-
exhausted.
You're like jet lagged and exhausted, but I mean, it's just outweighing the pros and cons. Like it was so epic that it's worth the exhaustion.
Yeah. Okay. So, why did you pick South Africa? Like, what? You have this map. You didn't. Just,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
I don't know. Why would you
Well,
pick there?
with that place, that's just a place like I've always wanted to go.
Okay.
I mean, I knew how good the wave was.
Yep.
And I knew about the safaris. I knew about all the penguins on the beach.
So, did
like,
it seem,
just,
how's the penguins, by the way? I want to see that so bad.
oh my gosh, amazing! Like you just
I
like
was just
you're
talking to
in a
my
warm
wife.
climate with little penguins running around the beach.
Yeah, I really want to. And the money goes further there, right?
Yeah.
A
Oh yeah.
lot
Yeah.
further.
Yeah. For sure.
Okay. So, South Africa. Oh, I think I asked you, why did you pick it? Because you always wanted to go.
Yeah.
All right.
And then, I mean, how we pick our places now is, I mean, I usually have like a few places in mind based off of the season, like weather and waves wise.
How far out are you choosing?
I'm pretty last minute, like
Okay.
within a couple months.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll have a few places in mind, and then just wherever I can find the best flight.
So, are you looking for like prices on that? Does that matter?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for
Like
sure.
economy?
That's why I'll like get a few ideas in mind, like based on like the season, and then from there, just like which one I can find the best flight deal.
Okay, so name some more of the countries your first kids went to. South Africa, which sounds just gnarly. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I
it
don't know.
is.
I would never take my kids there. And you know what? You're inspiring though, because you make it sound like it's easy,
I know, and I say that with hesitation because it's not always easy. Like,
but it's not easy in your backyard when your kids not happy either, right?
Well, I mean, I do want to be transparent that like crappy stuff does happen. Like,
Yeah.
we took them to Thailand, and that was another amazing trip, really far.
Yeah.
And we're at one of those elephant sanctuaries where you're bathing the elephants, and my 1.5-year-old is like scooping up this water, and the water's nasty. I mean, we could see the elephants like crapping in the water. Like, it's gross that we're even standing in it, but whatever. And we're bathing the elephants in that, and then all of a sudden my 1.5-year-old scoops up the water and then just starts gulping it, and I'm just like,
No.
oh my gosh, like just screaming, no. Like, what disease is he gonna have now?
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean,
That's frightening.
oh yeah, it's like, oh man, my 1.5-year-old just like drank this elephant shit water. Like, this is gonna be bad. I'm gonna have to get him tested for parasites when we get back.
Oh,
like
yeah.
all sorts of
Hepatitis.
things. Yeah. And so he was like fine that day, and then the next day we fly to Bangkok to be there just for a couple days before we head home. And in the Bangkok airport, he's like strapped into me in one of those cute little baby carriers where his head's like facing me, and then he just starts like projectile vomiting everywhere, and I've got puke all over my luggage, all over my hair, and like in the baby carrier, all covered in him, and it's like you're just standing there like I don't even know where to begin. Like,
And then do you feel like you need to see a doctor maybe, or you just
yeah. So I had him. I really did have him tested for parasites when we got back.
yeah.
He was all good. Everything's fine. He just needed to puke it all out, all over me in the Bangkok airport.
Oh my god.
You get like.
So then what are you going to do? Try to shower up in the bathroom, or how would
Oh
you?
yeah, and it's just like.
And that's not a
oh,
shower.
No. Yeah. Oh no. It's like all in my hair. So.
And you know you have like a 10-hour flight or 20-hour.
Oh yeah. It's so like terrible stuff
What's
does
your
happen.
husband doing? Rolling? Is he laughing or is he like, oh
Yeah,
no?
it's like one of those where we all just like freeze, like, oh gosh, like where do we even begin? Do I clean up the baby? There's like the luggage, my hair,
Oh, my
like. So yeah, I definitely like want to be transparent that like it's not all picture perfect.
Okay, so I just thought of something. So in foreign countries, food's different too.
Yeah.
So how do you guys approach that?
Yeah, I mean, I have my 7-year-old. She's a picky eater, so that can get rough with the traveling, and we've had issues like. I mean, my fault. I let her have some tomato slices when we were in Sri Lanka, and then at that airport, puking all over in security line and stuff. Yeah,
food poisoning.
Yeah, just I mean, from like the produce getting washed off in the dirty water.
Yeah.
So we've had like a few instances of that, but for the most part, I mean, nothing bad. Just gotta puke it out. So I mean, it's been great though for like my kids to be able to try more food and get more adventurous.
Okay, so what about school for them? How does that work?
Well, I only have one kid that's in school. The rest are all so young.
Yeah.
And the large bulk of our traveling was all right before my oldest started kindergarten.
Okay.
So I didn't have to worry about that. And what was really rad is we traveled for 4 months around South America, or I guess it was 3 months around South America. And I was able to find a lot of little preschools in these countries. So my kids they went to school for a couple weeks in Argentina in a little preschool. And and then
English speaking or Spanish speaking?
Spanish speaking.
Okay.
They all speak Spanish. So they'd get to have like these little doses of like full on cultural experiences by being around a bunch of other kids.
That's cool.
And,
That's really cool, actually.
I know. It's like those are
They're
life
too young
lessons.
to appreciate it. Do you think they'll remember later on? Or are they too young?
I mean,
it's a guess, but
when they're like 3 and under, they're not going to remember
much. Yeah.
But I mean, I feel, and I've gotten that a lot. Like, why would you take your kids so many places? They're not even going to remember. But I feel like I'm building this adventurous spirit and their adaptability to be in new places and try new foods and, be thrown into a school and make new friends. And I mean, they might not remember the specifics because they're so young, but I feel like these are like life experiences that like build your character.
Okay. Yeah. Build who they're going to be as teenagers and on.
Yeah. I mean, and now my oldest 2 are 5 and 7. So they're to the point where they are going to start remembering these kinds of trips.
So name some of the countries you've been to. Sri Lanka.
That I've surfed in.
Okay, let's go surfing. Yeah, we got away from surfing. Actually, I'm sorry. I'm fascinated. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So Sri Lanka.
How are the waves there? I saw a movie where they had the kids there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw like they had it was like 12, 15 years ago. I saw a movie.
Oh, I mean, it was great, but it was like surprisingly really crowded.
Really?
Yeah, like it was like a bunch of European surfers over there that like didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, the movie I saw. Sorry, not to interrupt. The movie I saw had to do with kids that like it was changing their whole life. Them being able to surf there. People were dropping boards off and stuff for them. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
So it seemed like no one surfed there.
Yeah, maybe not.
That's why I told you.
Maybe not like 15 years ago, but I went. I think it was 3 years ago.
Okay.
And it was like more crowded than expected.
Crappy waves.
No, it was good waves.
Okay.
Not like epic waves, but good waves.
Okay.
But where we really scored is right after that trip, right straight from Sri Lanka, is we went to India.
Okay.
And
that's my questions.
India, we scored really good waves with nobody there.
Really?
I'm almost hesitant to say it because I feel like it's like
you don't have to.
It's
You
like
don't
my
have to say the spot.
It was like my secret. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I just like discovered something. Like nobody surfs in India, and it was so good.
Is that going to change, you think?
Probably,
So the place you were at, but you don't have to say the name, it's your choice. How do you? Okay, so you go to these off the beaten path surf destinations, right?
Yeah.
So you got to have your wax. You got to if anything happens to your board, you're in trouble. You can't no one to fix it.
Right.
Unless you have solar res or something.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you do. So what happens? How do you thinking? What's your thought process there?
With my boards.
With your boards. Okay, and by the way, all right, pull back. I'm all over the board. But not only do you have kids, but you have boards you're bringing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
forgot to bring that part up.
So
that was
like,
one of my questions.
so like this South America trip that I was telling you about, 3 months. We had and I had a 2-month-old baby at the time.
That's insane.
So I had like a stroller, a newborn car seat, 4 surfboards, and luggage, and like Yeah, you get a lot of looks like you get like a little traveling circus right there. And then you're like trying not to like lose a child in the airport.
Or
and
lose a
stuff.
board.
Yeah. Yeah, something. And then we were in Chile, so we needed like thick wetsuits, so that takes up space. And
Oh my gosh.
but yeah, I mean, just make it happen. I mean, we travel super light, other than all that stuff, like in terms of like
Luggage,
clothing,
yeah.
like between 5 of us, we always just have one check-in and then one board bag.
Okay.
And then we like line the board bag with diapers and floaties and towels and those kinds of things.
Okay, I gotcha. Which keeps the board
it's a
protected.
win. It pads the boards.
Yeah, and then you have diapers.
Yeah, I know, it's perfect.
What's the carry-on like? Are you just the babies?
The kids they can only pack the amount of like toys and snacks that they can like carry on their own
Okay.
with the backpacks.
Okay. All right, so we'll go back to, we're in India. Kind of off the board. Sorry.
It's all good.
I just started thinking of these questions. I meant to ask you about the boards. Now you're in India, you get scored waves, and I asked you questions about like, if something happens to your board, like there's nowhere there to help you, right? There's no surf shops.
There was a surf shop in India.
Oh, there
yeah,
was.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you make friends with those guys? Like you walk in there first before you surf, like and ask them
Yeah.
where to surf?
Well, I usually make friends with people before I arrive at a destination. Like Instagram's amazing for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
So you're making friends?
yeah.
cool.
It's like it's been really cool. Like and we get a lot of local info and these guys in places like India are like they're excited to have some Americans come surf. They don't see that very much.
Yeah, cool.
And then a lot of times when we travel, we'll bring stuff to donate, like either old
nice.
boards or leashes, wax, whatever we have, or like take donations from our friends. And then the local surfers are like really excited for us to come, and it's like a win. We can donate to the local community, and then they kind of show us around, and we get to have a really good cultural experience by getting to know these local surfers.
Okay. So you guys are like let's meet in the morning and we're surfing kind of thing? Or is it more like I'll see you on the water, maybe?
I mean, sometimes. No, usually we'll like meet up. And,
Oh, okay.
we'll tell them where we're staying. I mean, that sounds kind of sketchy when I
Now,
say
what
that out
about
loud.
the language barrier. How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it happens.
How many languages do you speak?
I just speak
English?
with like survival mode Spanish.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, I can hang in Spanish.
So that's I
Yeah.
don't know, 1/3 of the world.
Yeah. But I mean, like Brazil was kind of hard because I don't speak Portuguese.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird sounding language.
Yeah, like I just like I was struggling there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You just make it work. There's always Google Translate on your phone if you really need
But that's
to.
relatively new.
Yeah, that's true.
And then there's some language
mean,
like
this-
Thai.
All
I
the
try to
surf
use
travel
Thai.
though is within the last like few years, so
Okay.
it's all been around.
Okay. Are you going from one country to the next country, like hitting 3 or 4 countries, then heading home? How does that work?
It just depends on this like stage of life. If I have like a full-time job at the time, then yeah, I'm just going to one country for 2 weeks and then coming back. I took a couple years off, and that's when we started the whole travel blogging thing. And then at that point, I could travel for months at a time.
Right. No restrictions.
Yeah. So it just kind of depends on where I'm at in life. When I first had my third kid, we just both took like extended paternity and maternity leaves, and that's how we were able to travel for 4 months at a time. And
Okay.
we camper vanned all over Australia with the 3 of them.
How
And,
right was that?
loved it. And they
What
they
part,
loved
of,
being
what part of the
RV.
country?
We went all over the Gold Coast,
Okay.
down a little bit past Byron Bay, and then we went up to Noosa, and then we did a little bit of the Great Barrier stuff.
Oh, okay. Like just to go see the reef and stuff?
Yeah.
How was that? Did you guys dive?
Well,
Did you learn?
that was
Snorkel?
one of the restrictions with kids. Is there
Oh,
was
yeah. Well, one of you guys could do it, right?
yeah. Someone's just like left to shore without it. But no, I mean we were able to get like a kind of a Great Barrier experience. Like we could only snorkel it and only go like so far out because some of the boats won't take babies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean you are limited. Like you can't do all the adventurous activities you want to when you have kids.
So in Australia, at least you spoke the language.
Yeah.
So that was a plus.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know how you like going to India. Just seems pretty rough.
Yeah. I mean, and extra rough is I was actually like 3 months pregnant at the time.
Oh my goodness.
So I was like, oh, I'd be like so careful, like not to get sick, and just like the smells of curry.
You got
like,
surfboards, babies, you're pregnant. You got to be super healthy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, but
There's
I don't
a lot going on.
I mean, life's short. I just like it's so exciting.
No,
And,
it's
you're
like, so rad for doing all that.
It's
That's
just like
super
interesting.
cool.
It's like the more places you go, the more places get added to your list that you want to go. It's like you just like it's addictive. You just get so excited to see different places in the world. It makes you want to see more and more. And I mean, I'm not like a pro surfer by any means, so I'm not necessarily chasing these world class waves.
Yeah.
Like I just love the experience of being able to go someplace, surf some new waves, meet local surfers, and meet local people. Have my kids meet new friends and try new foods, see new sights. So it's like the whole experience.
Now the kids getting older, are you guys looking at the map together and having them help decide where you guys want to go next?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes it gets vetoed if it's a place, like they wanted to go to Madagascar and the tickets were like $3,000 a person. I was like, not that one. But yeah. So I mean, to a point, yeah, we definitely do like get their input now, and it makes them more excited.
So when's the last one you went on?
We were in Colombia a few months ago.
Okay.
I'm like hesitant to say that because of the travel shaming during a pandemic, but but we did go to Colombia and followed all the protocols. And the waves were not good when we went there. That was not a trip we scored, but we still surfed nonetheless. And our kids made great little friends, got to speak Spanish to their friends. We did really cool hikes through their national parks, like on horses, down to beaches. So it was a rad trip.
And then, so what's Colombia like? I always just think of the, back in the day, the Escobar days.
Yeah. We met some cab drivers that had experience with Escobar, so that was interesting. Like
literally with them?
like their uncle was killed because of them.
Oh,
yeah.
No, it's rad.
Yeah.
No,
so it's
okay,
like,
that's not rad. That sucks.
But it's like...
But you got to hear that story. It's rad.
Yeah, it's definitely like interesting because you realize, oh yeah, this was like just in the 90s.
Yeah,
like it's
no,
not that
20,
long
30
ago.
years ago.
Yeah.
Not a lifetime ago.
Yeah, it's like all in our lifetime this happened.
And then
all the Escobar stuff.
How does that come up? Do they volunteer that information, or did you ask them?
I can ask. But yeah, no, we've been to Colombia twice because we love it so much, and we usually go to the Caribbean side. And that's where there's waves, and like I said, it's like never epic over there, but
Water's warm.
Water's super warm. Food's good.
I think the pictures you have, the water's still kind of bluish.
Yeah,
It's not like...
It's not as tropical as you would think with Caribbean water, but
So how many countries have you been to twice? Or 3 times or 4 times or whatever?
not too many. I mean, I try to
You kind
see
of
like...
check that box and go to the next one?
Yeah. I like to see as many places as possible, but there's like a handful. I don't know, maybe like 5 or 6 places.
And why do you decide those? Is it the price? It's a good price for the quality or the wave? I mean, why do you decide to go back to the same location and not pick a new location?
Well, with this Colombia one, it was you were
pandemic?
very limited on places you could go a few months ago with the pandemic, and then I found flights over New Year's for like under $300. So,
So are you on the computer all the time just checking airfare?
I like love checking airfare, so I know what a good deal is to anywhere.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so like people can tell me, is this a good price, and I can immediately tell them yes or no.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love the whole trip planning process and looking at flights.
Okay, so with your child throwing up all over you, is that the worst thing that ever happened? Tell us a bad story, or a gross story.
Well, also on that same Thailand trip, we went to go check out some little remote island, and
those ones that stand up. They're super beautiful.
Our boat driver, it's just our family on the boat, and our boat driver's like, "Oh, my boat's like having trouble. Like, let's pull over. There's a place you guys can have lunch while I try to fix the boat." So we like go to have lunch, and then we're like out in the middle of nowhere, and then our boat driver's like nowhere to be seen.
What?
He like
Full
on, just like left us, stranded us in the middle of this like island in Thailand, and I'm there with like my kids, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, did he really?
Panic.
Yeah. And then like we went and found someone. They're like, oh yeah, he started drinking and then he just left. It's like, what? like in that hour, he just like
Got
got
drunk?
hammered and then like left us. What? No, like I'm with these kids and and there's some people that like live on the island, but,
Thank
but there were
goodness.
like no boats going to and from, and we're like, oh my gosh, and it's like a
You're
million
the new
degrees. Yeah. So that was like kind of stressful, especially like the added stress when you're like, I have a little baby.
Oh my God. So how did it fix itself?
I just had to wait like hours and hours and hours for another boat to come, and
really?
like then just pay them too much money to take us back.
Oh, were they negotiating with you? Like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah. You could take advantage.
Do you think it was a setup?
Probably.
sounds like a setup.
Probably. I don't know.
Oh, sketchy.
It was super sketchy.
No, there's some of those islands are vacant too, probably.
Oh yeah. So like,
So lucky he picked one that someone lived there.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, super sketchy. We survived.
All right,
A little stressful though.
Okay, so what was your mindset? Were you hysterical? Or you don't have to say.
No,
You're putting
no.
it down like you're just a little stressful. But I gotta think it's more than that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put you on the spot.
Well, I mean, I just kept thinking like, oh, like a boat will come, and then like hours go by. And it was probably like 4 hours we were on the island until we like.
And you can't play because you're looking for a boat.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can relax and like, let's build a sandcastle.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
go explore. Wow.
But I mean, for the most part, things have gone smoothly. So like, I don't want to like discourage anyone.
No, but you're just telling real life.
I mean, yeah, it's real life. I mean, we've had occasional flights where you have the kid that's like just screaming and you're just doing everything you can. And you don't want to be like that person on the flight, but it happens every now and then.
What about losing boards? Just showing up at your destination, you're like, where's my boards?
Never lost a board, but had some like, the nose getting
Broken
snapped off. But yeah, for the most part, we've had good luck with boards.
Okay. And then what about, do they charge a lot extra for the boards? Every country different? Or airlines different?
that plays a factor into which airline we choose for
Okay,
sure.
okay.
Like before I book a flight, I look at the board bag fees because I mean there's some that charge like $300 each way. So you gotta look at that before you book the flight for sure.
Okay.
But I feel like they're getting better at least.
Like surfing's getting bigger, it's more popular?
Yeah, like a lot of United and American just stopped charging board bag fees. So it's definitely getting better than it was like 10 years ago.
Okay. What about sketchy flights? Like something like, the plane's going down. We're over the Atlantic or something.
No, thank goodness.
How many flights have you been on? If you could guess.
I mean, I have no idea. I've been to like, I don't know, between 35 and 40 countries.
Okay.
So, and then, a handful of domestic.
Okay.
So a lot of flights.
Hundreds.
Yeah, definitely. But I don't know. Yeah, traveling's my thing. I just like love it and try to like do it as much as possible.
Okay, so you come home to Oceanside, right? Is that what you live?
Yes.
Okay. And then you're surfing these waves after coming back from Colombia. What's the difference?
It's always colder here than wherever
Okay.
I go, with the exception of Chile.
So you don't, that was one of my questions. Do you ever pick like cold water destinations?
I try to avoid that
Okay,
as much
you're
as
trying to go
possible.
warm water.
Yeah, I mean, who wants to go to someplace where you're
Freezing?
putting on more
You're
rubber?
not going to Alaska to surf.
I mean, you'd get less crowded surf, I'm sure, if you did that, but I definitely prefer warm water destinations.
Okay. So,
But we did do South America, and
full suit, for sure.
But other than that, yeah, try to go warm. Try to go in I like shoulder season, so that way you get like the warm water, but also the waves.
Okay. And you how much surf are you getting in on these trips? Is it just 2 hours in the morning and then you guys do your family thing?
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes we get babysitters. We get that a lot when we travel.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are kind of sketched out by getting a babysitter in a foreign country,
Yeah.
but to each their own, right? But a lot of times the hotel or
Okay.
Airbnb, they'll recommend someone to us, or
Do you stay at resorts?
not
No.
usually,
Okay.
but sometimes.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes we'll do like marketing partnerships with hotels, and so
Okay.
then we stay in like a fancier place than we would normally.
Oh, okay.
But so in those cases, we'll stay in resorts, but a lot of places do have babysitting recommendations, and we'll take them up on it for a few hours in the morning, and then do more family activities in the afternoons.
Okay. All right, the airplane's gone. We had a little break there, everybody. That airplane sounded like it was going to drop on us, but... All right, Chelsea, off the beaten path.
Yeah, so off the beaten path.
Well, first
surf
off,
travel.
are you going to tell us where they're off the beaten path? Or are you going to keep that secret?
Oh, I'll tell you the country for sure.
Yeah, tell us the country.
Yeah. I mean, off the beaten path surf travel is kind of like my specialty. Like I said,
Okay.
I'm not chasing barrels. I'm chasing like experiences.
Okay. Which means what? Okay.
Which means like I'm doing more than just, on a boat in the Mentawai surfing all day long. You know,
Gotcha.
I'm like out like doing exploring too, like
Mm-hmm.
going on hikes and meeting up with locals, all the locals we meet on Instagram. And but really, we've met people on Instagram before, and then they have us over for dinner. And we get like a little like home cooked local meal,
That's
and
rad.
like it's been super awesome. But yeah, so off the beaten path destinations, we've surfed in Haiti. That one I went without the kids though.
Before kids? Or did you already have kids? You
I
just
already
left
had
them
kids.
at home?
I left them with grandma.
Good.
I didn't want to take my kids to Haiti.
Because it's kind of
It was a little sketchy. Yeah,
Okay.
That was probably the most sketched out I've been traveling.
Really? Okay. Mm-hmm. Want to tell us about that?
Well, just in Port-au-Prince, like at the beaches and all these places, I feel so safe. Like
Okay.
totally different vibes.
It's just in the
yeah,
big,
like when you're in the
high
big city,
populated-
yeah, like that's when you get the kind of sketchy vibes. But like in the beaches of Haiti, like felt super safe, met great people. That's one of the places we brought a bunch of boards, and it was really rad. The surfers there, I mean, obviously in Haiti they don't have a lot of money to just have all these boards, so they just have this big, I don't know, like a, what's the word? Like a
hut? I mean,
Yeah, like
where
a
they
hut,
live?
like a little hut
Okay.
that they all share surfboards and leashes and all those
like
sorts
a
of
community
things. Yeah, like a
center
community thing.
where they-
so like
okay,
nobody
cool.
really has their own boards. They all just go and grab from this little community. So we brought a bunch of boards that we could donate to there.
Oh, right.
And then brought a bunch of clothes, and then all my old, all the old kids' clothes that they grew out of, and a bunch of donations that we got from friends. So that one was really rad. And that's kind of what I mean more by like experience, like the waves were not awesome in Haiti, but it was such a cool experience, like getting to like see that whole surf community, how they all share boards and how they're really stoked. Even, none of them even have like swimsuits really.
Yeah.
So just to see that community there and get to know these people, and that was awesome.
So,
And-
all right, man.
I was just gonna say, Jamaica would be another kind of off the beaten path destination. I don't think a lot of people go there.
Yeah, I've never seen Haiti in like surf magazines, but I have seen Jamaica. Once in a while, they do a little profile. So it's probably a little more popular than Haiti.
Definitely more popular. But still, I mean, how many people do you know?
Yeah, bunch of Jamaicans surf.
Like when we surfed, like we were like literally the only people out.
So rad.
And that was actually I had one of my favorite surf travel days was in Jamaica.
Okay.
I show up to Bob Marley Beach to go surf, and there's
There's
these.
really a beach called Bob Marley?
Yeah, there really is.
Oh, cool.
And there's these two kids that when they see me about to paddle out, they come running with their boards. They're just they don't have swimsuits. They just in their boxers and their broken boards. Like I would say, like 6 inches of the nose is just completely off. Like their boards are hammered. They had so much surf stoke, and every time I'd catch a wave, they'd be cheering, and they'd kind of guide me around where the shallow parts of the reefs were.
Oh,
and
cool.
it was so cool.
How old were they?
They were like 12 and 14.
Okay.
Like
Yeah, just groms.
Yeah, just groms. Super excited, so happy, cheering on, and then they asked if we could get a ride home, and so we took them home, and like turned out they were like just living in a big orphanage. Like broke our hearts. But, like it just made me realize, like, oh man, these kids are so happy and just like so full of life, and like
living in the
yeah,
worst scenario.
yeah.
So the kids and they're living in an orphanage. Do you go in and actually walk them in, or do you just like, see you later, nice surfing with you? Like that's sketchy.
Yeah. I mean,
What are you gonna do?
putting random people in your car is sketchy, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
But I don't know. You get good vibes from people. You can pick this up when you travel, and so that's what I mean by like off the beaten path, like experience surf travel.
Yeah.
It's like just kind of different than your standard surf trip. You're like getting to know people and trying to help communities along the way too.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. And anybody else? Anywhere else? It's kind of similar to that. Like, I mean, I think most countries that surf's not huge, like Australia here, we're all kind of spoiled,
Oh, for sure.
And then you go to like Haiti or Jamaica or maybe even Thailand,
Yeah.
where They don't have things like we have.
Yeah,
in
and
America.
I love my kids to see that too.
Okay.
Like that's when we travel, when we're in places.
Do they appreciate what they have now? Do you think?
I would hope so.
Okay, they're
Like,
still young.
I mean, yeah, but just so they can see the different ways people live.
Okay.
I mean, knowing not everyone has these big Southern California houses, like people are like barely have roofs over their heads in a lot of these places, and I want them to see that and see how happy the kids still are.
Happier, it seems like.
Yeah,
Are they happier?
probably, yeah.
Okay. What does your family think about you guys doing this? Your immediate family.
My parents think I'm nuts. Yeah.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're just like, why do you keep going so many places? And some people it just sounds crazy, and of course, like they're kind of worried about the grandkids and some of the places we send them. Like, please take care of the kids.
Yeah.
But obviously, as their mom, I don't want anything to happen to
Of course
them.
not. No.
Everything we do is with caution. And even when we get babysitters, like I get them through people I would trust.
Okay, so you go. What's your best wave you got anywhere in the world?
J-Bay.
J-Bay.
Yeah.
Was it big? How big was it?
No, like when we went, it was like probably 4 to 6 feet.
Okay.
And it just lined up forever. It's just like some of the fastest, most lined up waves I've ever had.
You see
Just
any
like
pro
so easy.
surfers traveling around, or even at J-Bay?
No, because I was there shoulder season. It's all about shoulder season when you travel, so that way you don't want to be out surfing with pros.
No, you don't. You don't. But just like crossing paths, maybe.
No. There was not a lot of people there when we went, and it was made it more awesome.
Graduation. I think that's what that is. No. Okay, what country are you missing? That had, like good stories. What about like Europe? You skipping Europe? You don't talk about Europe.
I'm going to Europe in 2 weeks.
Oh, where are you going?
Actually, Portugal.
Okay.
Probably. It's still closed to Americans, so it has
really?
it has 2 weeks to open up before I go.
What about, are you vaccinated?
I am vaccinated.
So that should help, right? Or just...
They're saying, they came out with a statement today that hopefully next week vaccinated Americans can go to Portugal.
Okay.
So I'm playing it real close because as of today
you're not going?
Well, I mean, I still have my tickets. I'm still planning on going. I'm just counting on being one of the first Americans there, I guess.
Okay. Where are you gonna surf?
Ericeira area, and I don't have the trip planned out. This one's real last minute style.
Oh, cool.
We rent our house out here in Oceanside.
Okay.
And then just kind of use the Airbnb money to fund the traveling.
So that's the way you do it. That's
yeah,
rad.
yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people want to come to Oceanside.
Right.
So
you almost flip-flop. Have you ever flip-flopped with family?
I haven't, but
Okay.
I've considered it.
Oh, have you? Like let us stay in your
It's just
house.
usually I don't know.
It's a lot of
There's a lot of logistics, like trying to
Yeah.
time it right
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's easier to just Airbnb the house
just
out.
do your thing. Let them do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So is Oceanside? Are you gonna move from here? I mean, is this your home forever?
No, I love Oceanside. I mean, I don't.
Since you've been
Don't
all
we
around the
just-
world, you can compare it to so many places. How do you compare Oceanside?
I mean, it's just great for like overall like quality of living. Like I get to surf most days and have
You can
access
make
to
up to
everything I
LA,
need.
San Diego.
Yeah, like it's great. Like it's perfect home base.
Okay.
Like I mean, a lot of people are like, "Why you live in such a cool place? Like, why do you travel so much?" But
Okay. So what's your answer?
well, I still spend like a lot of time here. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
I feel like just seeing new places just like excites my soul. You
Is
know,
that
like
ever gonna go away?
Oh, I don't think so. Like
Okay.
I just like it like really just like pumps me full of life, like seeing new things and sights and people, and I just love it. So then I can come back feeling all excited and you know
And the kids ever say no? I want to stay home.
sometimes.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Sometimes they go through waves. I mean,
Okay.
once we're at a place though, they're always stoked.
Once they're on the plane,
Yeah,
they're off the plane.
Yeah.
Okay. Are they surfing? Are they starting to? A little young still.
The little young, my 5-year-old likes it. My 7-year-old's starting to. She's doing the Oceanside Surf Camp.
Oh, cool.
This summer. So we'll see. But right now they're mostly just like boogie boarding a lot.
Cool.
Just like getting
So
comfortable.
beach
I mean,
days?
yeah, they love the beach. They love boogie boarding. The surfing has just kind of been like they're a little more scared on that.
There's some
But,
of the California surf
yeah,
kids.
so trying to not to like
Push
it too much. Like
Yeah.
we kind of pushed it a lot earlier, and then
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like we're just like, oh, that'd be so rad to like have our kids surf. But then we realized, if they want to do it, they will. Like we backed off, and they're just, having fun boogie boarding right now. And then the younger ones will go like stand on the front of my longboard kind of a thing.
Oh, okay. It's all about having fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
they're so young.
Yeah. No, we're not going to push it. We just want them to enjoy the beach, enjoy traveling, and just,
Now, have you thought about doing a little less surf travel, and maybe, or do you? I don't know. There's so many other places in inland, or not inland, like no ocean around. Are those in the book? Are you waiting for those for later on, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, there's
millions.
There's so many countries in the world with surf that you like just don't even think about. So it's like, I still got a lot. Like, I've been to like I said, like 30 something countries for surf, but there's still so many. So
any of those trips,
I don't know.
Have you been injured or you couldn't surf?
No, but my husband did.
Did he?
He got injured pretty bad in Sri Lanka.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What happened?
We were surfing this break like on way too low of tide. And so I told him like, I'm just going to go like paddle over like to that next peak. Like, I don't, this place is sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I paddled over, and he said he would meet me there in a little bit. And after like 2 hours goes by, I'm like, I feel like I just got stood up, So I'm like, whatever. He guess he didn't want to come over and meet me. And I get back to our place where we had the babysitter. And they're like, oh, he went to the hospital. I'm like, oh, gosh. Like,
oh, no.
So I like hop in a tuk-tuk, and like the tuk-tuk's like, which hospital? I'm like, I don't know which hospital. There's more than one hospital around here. So you're like, take me to whatever one you think he's at. And like, gotta go try
And what's
to
the
find him.
hospital like?
I never saw the inside.
Okay.
But yeah, when I arrived, his like whole leg was like all bandaged up and on antibiotics. He just the whole like skin of his knee and like, down to the bone.
What did he
kind
hit,
of stuff.
rock or something?
The reef is like pretty.
Oh, there's reef there?
Yeah, there's pretty. And it was just like too low. We shouldn't have been surfing at that low of tide.
Okay. That's
So
trippy.
yeah, so I had to like find him in some sort of Sri Lankan hospital.
Well, at least you got the surf. Like, I'm saying, like, you book it out maybe 2 months in advance and your knee hurts or something. Like, you're not surfing.
No, knock on wood, everything's like, it's gone like, I mean, I had a surprise pregnancy with the India thing, like I wasn't planning on being pregnant in India, that's for sure. So it didn't stop me from surfing, but kind of like threw a new like wrench in the whole, like, okay, now I got to be really careful what I eat.
What are some destinations you're looking at in the near future besides Portugal? Yeah, what about like China, or have you been to Japan or any of those countries?
No,
the Asian countries?
No, Japan is definitely on the list. We're planning on...
Which seems pretty safe, by the way. Japan seems safe.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of surfers there.
Yeah.
And I think that's really fun there.
Yeah, no, Japan is definitely on the list.
Okay.
And we're planning on going to Vietnam later this year.
Ooh. What are the ways like in Vietnam? Do you know?
They're kind of like very fickle.
Oh, okay.
So we're going with like very low expectations.
Okay.
But it will be like just a cool trip.
Yep. All right. What about China?
Yeah, there's that island off of China that looks really rad where they always have those longboard contests.
Yeah. That looks fun, kind of.
Yeah, it looks really fun. I've definitely looked into it. It's there's a lot of logistics with getting out to that island.
Because of the communist country, or why?
Oh no, just
It's hard to get into China itself, though, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of visas required.
Okay.
And then when you travel with 5 people and you're spending like hundreds of dollars on each person's visa, that can add up real quickly.
Yeah,
so that's another factor. Like the visa requirements can play a role in if we go or not.
Okay. Anything we left out, you think?
No, I don't know.
No, you talked. I mean, your stories are rad. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm super passionate about traveling, and like I love sharing tips on getting good flight deals or tips on like how to travel with kids. So I'm an open book if anyone wants to know.
How do they find? Besides just Instagram, is that how they find you?
Yeah, Instagram's the easiest.
Okay.
We're Family Beach Travel.
Okay, and they can message you, DM you.
I'm always surfing at the harbor. So.
Are you at the harbor or the pier?
Well, this morning I was at the pier, but usually I'm at the harbor.
Right on. Okay. Any final words from Chelsea? And thanks again for doing this, Chelsea.
Oh no, I just want to like encourage everyone to just
get out there.
Yeah, get out there. It doesn't matter like what stage of life you're on, too young, too old, with kids, not with kids. Like if you want to go someplace, like you make it happen.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
You won't regret it.
You're motivating me. I really want to go to South Africa right now.
Oh, awesome.
After talking to you. So thank you so
should do
much.
It.
We're going to go. All right, everybody. This is Mike and Chelsea on the QuiverCast. We'll see you all in the water. Later. Thanks, everyone, for joining us this week. If you like the episode, hit subscribe, give us 5 stars, or leave a review. Like us on Instagram, quiver_cast. Music brought to you by Barry Snyder, Punk Rock Grandpa. You guys all have a good week, and I'll see you in the lineup. Hey, you guys, Endless Summer box set. This thing is legit. It's authentic, numbered certificate in it. It has a 5-frame film strip from the original print. You will literally own a piece of history. It has a specially minted bronze medallion. Dude, that thing's sick. Okay, there's so much more here. Go to the show notes. There's a link on there. Go check this piece of history out. This thing's rad. Seriously. Smithsonian American History Museum has it. It took 4 years of research with 3.5 in production, all hand assembled. This thing's rad. So much to this awesome box set. Remastered DVD, sharper images than the original film, but dude, this thing's so sick. Link in the show notes.